Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Golden Ratio Podcast. I am Jen, GR Mom, joined as always by GR Dad.
Hi.
How's it going, GR Dad?
Pretty good.
Excellent, excellent. The cocktail of the week this week is a cocktail that I had when I was in Chicago on Monday this week doing a book signing. It's called the Save Ferris.
Oh, love that movie.
It is mezcal, green chartreuse, and pineapple juice.
Ooh, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it was tasty. It was a good
Mezcal and pineapple juice works. That's like smoky pineapple.
one. Mm-hmm.
That's
and
pretty
then
good.
kind of herbal with the chartreuse.
How is it?
Herbal.
Herbal?
Herbal. It was
Whoa.
tasty.
I'm getting shivers.
So that was pretty good. Maybe I'll make us one later, but we're drinking some champagne right now.
When's the last time we podcast? Was it 7 weeks ago?
We podcasted last week, but it was over distance. It's been over distance for, I think, 3 weeks.
Seems like it's been forever.
I know.
Hi. It's
Hi.
good to see you.
Nice to see you. Nice to be home.
Yeah.
I'm here all day today and all day tomorrow.
Woo.
Woo!
Red letter day. I mean, look, I'm very pleased. This is great.
I know.
How
How long has it been since I've had 2 full days at home? A month.
If absence makes the heart grow fonder, then I'm super fond.
I've been definitely super absent. Thank you for being so awesome. You have let me
I don't do anything. I'm just hanging around,
do big things.
hanging out.
With all these high maintenance dogs. Like, what's Remy doing right
It's
now?
all AI. It's all fake.
Is he eating his foot? What's he doing?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's chomping at himself.
All right.
He's allowed.
You ready for Administrative Corner?
I don't know if I'm ready, but I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if I'm emotionally prepared.
Well, it's time for Administrative
Because I
Corner.
love Administrative Corner.
Okay. I have 3 items. Number 1, Golden Ratio alum, Ched's, cheddar cheese, has a Patreon now.
Medium-sized cheese.
He's a pretty big cheese. He weighs like 90
He's
pounds.
a giant cheese.
Yeah.
He's got big paws.
So he has an Instagram, Ched's Big Cheese. That's just like regular Instagram. It's great. But if you want like bonus Cheds, he's also Ched's Big Cheese on Patreon. We'll put a link in the show notes. So if you want like a lot of extra cheese, you can get it.
I have to learn that subscribing to that podcast doesn't get me any money.
It's not a podcast. It's a
not-
Patreon.
It's not a circle the way everything for us is. If I buy 100 calendars, I get all the money.
You don't.
All the money.
I keep trying to explain this that you don't.
But if I subscribe to Ched's Big Cheese, Ched's gets the cheese, the money,
he
gets my
does.
cheese.
Ched's gets your cheese.
He gets my bread. What do I get? Oh, pictures of cheddar, little videos, stories,
Yep.
big paws punching me in the face. Punch, punch.
Yep. That's true.
So it's a good investment, but it's not the get-rich-quick scheme that I'm looking for.
Mm.
I fear my investment might be misguided.
I think you should. You're getting close to understanding.
I think I've got to talk to my investment advisor. She doesn't answer my calls. I have so many good ideas for her.
Number 2, in the pattern of people sending content that's upsetting to Ingo, mainly candle content, we got many SpaghettiO candles this week.
I don't think that would burn, would it?
It's just like a can of SpaghettiOs with a wick in it.
Yes, it
And
can't.
then
You can't make a candle out of non-wax things?
I think they're frozen. I don't think they're like set in aspic,
Oh, but then it's
but it's gross.
water?
It's spaghetti sauce and noodle
Spaghetti
O's.
sauce is not the basis for a candle, though.
Well,
There's cheating
it was
involved.
on fire.
There's a little wax candle in the middle.
I mean, when we talked
It's
about
cheating.
that mayonnaise salad thing last week, it was just stick a birthday candle in it.
Yeah,
So-
but that's then equally bad, maybe bad in different ways. But at least you're not burning the butter.
Again, the butter was not on fire.
Explain the little sled things. Those are cute.
Oh, yeah. So we did get a couple of people sent the butter sleds. And so the butter sleds are pretty cute. So imagine you have like a baked potato. You cut the baked potato in half.
Smoothly.
Smoothly in half. You put one just down on the plate, and then you kind of lean the other one up against it with the cut part open. So you got an angled, smooth surface
You
on
made
the
a
baked
hill
potato.
out
You
of
made
the
a
half
hill.
potato.
So then you can take a pat of butter, say a tablespoon of butter off a stick, cold, and put a little snowman on it, and
Or
then
a penguin.
or a penguin, set it at the top of your little potato hill. The potato is hot, and so it'll melt the butter, and your little ping will sled down.
Sled down. I think
on
that's
its butter
nice.
patch.
That's okay. That's
Yeah.
just using existing forces. You're not adding fire
Okay, that's pretty good.
or PB blaster or whatever to it. You're just making it go down.
Oh, so speaking of, you guys, I'm extremely behind on my Christmas shopping this year, but I was so excited to see that there is a brewery in Ohio making
Cleveland.
PB Blaster beer. It's called Loosen Up Lager. It's amazing.
It's so good.
I was like, I must get this for Ingo, and it is sold out everywhere.
The kicker is the beer can looks exactly like a can of PB
Yes,
Blaster.
it does.
It has the same everything. Like, I think they just took the can and copied it.
They got big warnings that are like, listen, this is beer, so you can drink it, but you cannot drink PB Blaster that is in your garage. It is not the same thing as this beer. If any of you are in Ohio and you spot a 6-pack of this, or frankly, even a can, I will pay you for it. I will send you a shipping label. So just buy it without hesitation, and I will take care of you. I don't care if we end up with like a case of the stuff, which is not going to happen. But if you see it, I wanted to get it for Dear Dad for Christmas, and I have not been able to.
It's called Collision Corners Brewery.
And
or Collision Corner. It's a stretch of the Cuyahoga.
his birthday's in January, so even if it's after Christmas, I'll take it. If you see it, get it for me.
There's a hairpin turn on this river
Yeah.
where boats would collide.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there used to be a shipyard there too in Lorraine. They built themselves out of business. None of their ships ever sank.
Mm.
So now they don't work anymore. Just enough ships now on the Great Lakes, except for that one. But that got replaced.
What did they make that one?
The good ship they called. I don't know. No.
Edmund
I don't
Fitzgerald?
I don't know if they made that one.
No. Okay.
Might have been. It was the pride of the American side, so probably.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Are you done with Ohio Corner?
Random jibber jabber. Yes, I suppose I am. Anyway, it's called Collision Corner Brewery, and it's PB Blaster beer.
Yes. Okay, good. You can go on their website and it'll show you the stores that allegedly have it. Okay, we have a fish scandal update.
There should be some kind of sound effect for this. Whap, whap, whap.
Wait, we've got here's your little sound effects
Oh,
box.
yeah.
It doesn't have anything for fish scandal update, though, which should be some type of alarm or fish sound or something. I mean, fish don't... Okay, all right, we're not doing that. All right, so fishing cheater sentenced in separate local forgery case. So this is our friend, and by friend we mean enemy, Chase Kaminsky. Yes, well executed. Chase Kaminsky was one of the weights and fish guys. He also was arrested for stalking the woman. He also was arrested for... Feta, no!
He's an all-around bad guy.
Yeah, arrested for passing fake $100 bill, and then recently caught the deer poaching charge. So here we have our story. Fishing cheater sentenced in separate local forgery case. Mercer Pa, a man convicted in a fishing scandal during a competition in Cuyahoga County, was sentenced Thursday in a separate forgery case in Mercer County. Chase Kaminsky was sentenced to 6 to 12 months of incarceration, followed by 4 months of probation, according to a court employee. Kaminsky had pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor theft by deception charge. The charge stems from an incident that was reported January 21st by those working at 10 Pin Alley in Hermitage. 2 employees working at the bowling alley received 2 counterfeit $100 bills.
This is it.
That's it. According to the criminal complaint, an investigation found that Kaminsky's son, Caden, 18, had passed the bills to an employee. The criminal complaint says Chase was there at the time the bills were used and had been seen on surveillance camera handing some to Caden.
It's worse that he involves his family.
The bills had the writings, quote, for motion picture purposes, quote, and not legal tender on them, and had other markings that showed they were fake. All right, sorry, we needed to take a little break to put Feta in jail.
Taken straight.
All right, so the bills say for motion picture purposes and not legal tender on them. So he's not even a good counterfeiter.
But he got 6 months for that. Like for
6
that,
to 12.
Wow.
Investigators then received a search warrant to search Chase and Caden's phones and said text messages revealed that Caden had asked Chase to, quote, bring one of those 100s while he was bowling. For his part, Caden was sentenced to 1 year of probation after pleading guilty to theft by deception. Chase Kaminsky was also convicted earlier this year of using weights to make the walleye fish he caught heavier during a tournament in Cleveland to win a cash prize. He and his co-conspirator were sentenced in May to 10 days in jail, had their fishing licenses suspended for 3 years, and Kaminsky had to give up a bass boat worth $100,000. They also have to serve a 1.5 year probation in that case.
Had to give it up. He didn't win it. Like, it wasn't his to begin with, a little sneak. That guy sounds bad.
He is also facing multiple wildlife and hunting violations, accused of killing deer outside of hunting season without a valid license.
As I was saying, he sounds bad.
Yep. They haven't mentioned the stalking charge here, but I know that happened. So there you go. Fish scandal update of the week.
That guy's like on a tear. He's committing crimes in multiple states.
He's going to be in county jails all over the place in Pa.
Maybe the deer will get their revenge one day. The fish and the deer will conspire. Be like the orca uprising. He'll be eaten by a walleye.
I saw this really weird video on TikTok of a deer eating a snake. Have you seen that?
No, but that's disturbing for many reasons. I didn't know deer were omnivorous that way.
They're mostly vegetarian, but if they're really hungry, they'll eat
They're
other
really
stuff.
mad. They'll eat the snake. If they hate you so much, they'll eat you up.
You guys can see this deer eating snake video yourself if you'd like.
Feral.
It's time for dog updates.
Excellent.
Okay. Guac is currently snaking himself across the floor, kicking his feet.
All this talk
Weird
of
bent
deers eating
dog.
snakes.
That's
an update.
Vink had week 2 of chemo.
Venk is not as fun to take to Miami as Voodoo used to. I don't think Venk enjoys the 305 lifestyle the way Voods did.
Voods sometimes would have seizures in your car on the way up to
I think
spa.
I think he enjoyed being at the spa though. I think he kind of he was vibing up there, and Venk just seems very anxious. She doesn't have the Miami attitude at all.
That's true.
She gets stressed.
What about Feta?
Feta is happily oblivious and just is trying to eat her leash for 3 hours, pretty much.
She loves to eat those things.
Yeah.
I think all the dogs, and maybe also the Ingo, have become more feral in my month away from home.
It's a very much you walked in on Lord of the Flies, pretty much.
It feels a little bit like that. Like, things were kind of in order here. The house is clean, but the attitudes are feral. And now I'm leaving again on Sunday, but when I'm back next week, the hammer's coming down.
Yeah, just don't displease us, Jen. We'll tolerate you if you let the tribe live. If you try to bring down the hammer on the tribe, there'll be massive resistance.
Well, we'll see what happens.
We're all combining our one brain cell to make one giant brain cell.
So anyway, Vink is doing fine on her chemo. Her prednisone's coming down, which hopefully will help with how hungry she is. But she's not really having any side effects. It's much milder for dogs than for people anyway, but she's not shedding remarkably more than before. She's not having any of the GI issues, which can be common. Her blood levels still look okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're worried about her throwing up or losing her appetite, and she's more picky about what she eats in her meals sometimes. Like, she'll sometimes leave some broccoli left over, right? She'll eat around the broccoli or something, but it's not like she's refusing food, or she's, where we've had dogs who did that.
Yeah.
During whatever. I mean, I'm always quite pleased when the oncologist asks the questions about, how's her appetite, and I'm just like, so far she's good. She seems good. She's a little less freewheeling in playing with Feta, but that just makes sense. That's just because she's 9 years old.
Yes, that's reasonable.
But she doesn't seem to be uncomfortable or beat down or lethargic or anything like that. And it's really nice.
Yeah.
We're lucky.
That's good. Feta is doing fine.
Feta is chaos.
Her head is too small for her body.
Which is not her main problem, but it is a symptom.
It is problematic. Yes, she is. It's funny. Like, Ingo and I are generally aligned in our dog care philosophies, which makes life easy. But he's much more permissive. It's good that we didn't have kids, because we would have been one of those couples that had fights over parenting styles.
Look,
if we had
you're
kids
not
together.
here. no rules.
Yes. And so I come home today and we're like eating pizza on the couch and Feda's like literally climbing on top of Ingo. He's holding the plate of pizza over his head and speaking to her in a disappointed voice as though that's going to have some impact on her. And I was like, Ingo, take her off the couch and put her on the floor. And he's like, oh, right.
That would require me to stop eating pizza.
All right. You weren't eating the pizza. You were holding it over your head.
That was in between bites. I had to stop eating. I had to get
he
my
would
butt
kind
up.
of reach up to the plate and like bring the pizza down, bite it, and then put it back up there while Feta like crawled on his face.
I admittedly was doing nothing about the larger problem of her incessant begging. I was only solving the immediate problem, which was me to beat her to the pizza.
And they have forgotten that I don't allow this kind of nonsense and try to crawl on me. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, get down. And they're like, oh, fuck.
I know. And that's only me.
Anyway,
they're generally all
I'm gonna be
doing
home
well.
Tuesday and then shit's gonna be
I gotta
going.
say, I am still really pleased to see Remy having a very good time playing with Feta.
Yep.
I mean, he's not always, I think she's overwhelming sometimes, but
Yes.
a lot of times he initiates, especially outside, and he gets, antsy and does the play fight, play bows, and she runs around and makes him very happy. I think that is really nice to watch and to see. I mean, the other day he was trying. Feta was fixating on the ball outside and wanted me to keep throwing it, and Feta was clearly wanting to play, so I just basically pushed Feta into Remy and started a play fight that way.
Oh.
I was like, stop focusing on the ball, and I just kind of took her physically and bodily rammed her into Remy, and that was great, and it started the whole thing.
Well, good job.
And they could do it. Yes. But they're weirdly focused on me sometimes.
Okay. I just got back yesterday late, like close to midnight yesterday. So any other stuff happened while I was gone? I was gone all week.
Yeah, but it's been real windy and not real inviting to swim. Although Venk did swim, 100 yards out. I think we talked about it last time.
You sent me a video.
Yeah, there was a coconut floating away, as it sometimes they do. And I turn around and Venk is, I think, a football field away.
Yeah.
Messing with the coconut. And of course I call her and she has no interest or
absolutely not.
She's like, sound. And then so she'd swim away from the coconut and then swim back to it to check on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then swim away, check back.
Yep.
And was not visibly tired, though. I mean, she seems to be quite buoyant and
she's a good swimmer.
Fine. She's quite a good swimmer, yeah. And then she came back some zigzag path because she doesn't actually know where we live or care. I was actually pretty stressed. I was going to put the kayak in the water to go get her, but then, as you pointed out, I would have had two other dogs trying to get in the kayak or chasing me, so it would have made the problem worse if I'd kayaked out to see her.
Yeah.
I would have had to deal with Guac and probably Feta, and definitely Feta, and maybe Remy following me in the kayak and trying to climb in.
Yep.
So as it was, everything was fine, but it was a bit stressful for me because I don't want you to come back and I only have 4 dogs.
I would be upset.
Cuba Libre.
Vank, stay here, Vank. Okay, so I guess that's it for dog updates.
Yep.
You ready for Taste of the Keys?
Yep.
Okay. A dangerous police pursuit was caught on dash camera video in Isla Mirada on Sunday afternoon.
Dash cam.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's actually a bunch of videos of this. Troopers say they were chasing the driver of a Chevrolet SUV who refused to stop after driving recklessly and on the wrong side of the road.
Whoa.
It was a dangerous scene for runners who were participating in a half marathon along US 1, but no one was hurt. So there's all these videos from people running this half marathon along Route 1, and it's like, meow, like cop cars going past, this SUV going past. And I don't know if they spiked it. It doesn't say that they spiked it, but the tires came off the SUV and just flew into the air and landed by the runners who were just like jogging along the
Those
side.
tires, I mean, I've seen videos about this. They just they fly and roll, right?
Yep. So there's a bunch of like runners video of this high-speed chase. When the vehicle eventually crashed into a construction site, so you know right where this is.
Yeah.
The driver was taken into custody.
No kidding.
Authorities have yet to identify the suspect, who they said will be taken to jail after he's released from the hospital.
Oh, what an idiot.
Yeah.
Where is he going?
Yep. Like, it's never a good idea, but then there was also a half marathon, like,
He's
running
going
on
the
his
wrong
shoulder.
way, too, though. That's
Yeah.
not good.
Yep.
Because no, the construction zone is not where it's bifurcated. It's a little further north from us where it's bifurcated.
Yes, up by, like,
I picture
on
him going the
Lower
wrong way
Metacombe Key.
down
Oh,
Route
that'd
1
be
when
bad.
it's the other way. That would
No.
be instant problems.
Is up there. The other taste of the Keys is that Fred the Tree is now decorated for the holiday season. So we've talked about Fred before, but in case you're newer to the podcast, Fred the Tree is an Australian pine tree that grows on a abandoned stretch of the old 7 Mile Bridge that links Marathon in the Middle Keys to the Lower Keys, which is where we live. It is a 7 Mile Bridge, which is why it's called the 7 Mile Bridge.
I think it was named by a German.
So all of Route 1, the one road that we have here in the Keys, used to be where the Overseas Railroad went. So it was so all the bridges were built by Flagler. If you live in Florida, you see Flagler's name all over the place. He kind of made Florida. Like, he ran a railroad down into Florida all along the coast, built hotels. Like, he's like, people are going to like to come here for a vacation. Like, ran this railroad down, built these beautiful hotels. I've stayed at one before, right where you just like get off the railroad and go into these resorts. And all the way down to Miami, they had actually proposed naming Miami Flagler City, and he had said no. So he gets like some kind of point for that. And then built the Overseas Railroad down to Key West, which was like the thing that allowed people to live in the Keys, because there were some people here before, but you had to like boat everywhere. And so a lot of the bridges that we use are or were old railroad bridges from the Overseas Railroad. But we had a Labor Day hurricane in 1935. It was very terrible. Lots of people died. It's one of the most powerful hurricanes to hit the U.S. And it wiped out a bunch of the railroad, in addition to hundreds of people who were working on building railroad, more parts of the railroad or working on it. And so after that, instead of repairing the railroad, they turned it into the road. And so the 7 Mile Bridge, they just like put the road where the railroad tracks were. Some of these you'd actually drive on the railroad tracks.
It's terrifying.
The old 7 Mile Bridge, which is the one that Flagler built, is like you can fit kind of 2 cars on it, and it just had like a little metal railing on the side, and then you're just over the ocean. And the new 7 Mile Bridge is exactly the same, 40 feet away, but it's a tiny bit wider. There's not actually shoulder that you could pull off on, but there's a little bit of space on either side.
There's enough space for bikes to ride on the shoulder and not get hit all the time, but you can't. It's not a full car width, I don't think, on the shoulder.
No, absolutely not. No. It's still very scary to drive on, like at night, and especially in weather. But they put the new bridge right next to the old bridge, and there's like a 2-mile stretch of the old bridge that you can walk on. They just actually did a huge renovation over it in the last like 4 years, and it's very cool. You can walk from the Marathon side to Pigeon Key, which is an old site where like people who worked on the railroad lived. But then the other 5 miles of the bridge are inaccessible because they cut chunks out of it. So they cut out a chunk on the Lower Key side, and they cut out a chunk on the Pigeon Key side. So you cannot walk onto the old stretches of the bridge. It's still like the kind of pillars are still very sturdy, but the deck of it is not maintained because nobody can get on it. And Fred the Tree lives there. Fred the Tree is an Australian pine tree that somehow the seed made its way onto the bridge, and Fred has grown and is now a big ass pine tree, like a big pine tree.
With no dirt.
Just growing on the road.
It's just growing on the road there.
It's like in the Galapagos where they have those like cacti, and then the cacti die and they like make dirt and then other stuff. Like Fred the Tree is just like made enough needles that turned into dirt that like now he grows and
it's amazingly resilient.
Yes. Yeah. And so every year at holiday time, there are some people allegedly whose faces are never shown that boat over, and they have like climbing gear, and they climb up onto the deck of the old 7 Mile Bridge and decorate Fred the Tree. They put up like little light up signs. They're all like battery powered or solar powered. It's lovely.
Yeah.
And
so it's pitch black when you're driving across this bridge, and then you see Fred the Tree lit up,
And he
And
looks like he's just hovering out over the ocean.
Yeah, and there's a little angel, and it says peace, I think. It's nice.
Yeah, Key Strong.
Key
There's a
Strong.
Key Strong
Yep.
sign. There's a Hanukkah out there.
Yep.
So
Is that like a menorah?
Yes.
Okay.
But specifically for Hanukkah.
Ah, well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice. So they climbed out there maybe last week, and there were great pictures, and of course everybody's faces are hidden. So one of the local papers, maybe it was the Miami Herald, it could have been the Keys Weekly, did a story on them like in 2018, and they had sent a photographer out, and they show everybody decorating Fred the Tree, and they all have like strategically placed ornaments like in front of their face. They're like
Flower
reaching
pots.
up. Yeah, it's just like, oh, I can't see, miraculously can't see anybody's faces because they're technically breaking the law. But it's lovely. And so when I flew into Miami yesterday from Houston and drove down to the Keys and got to see Fred the Tree all lit up at like 10 p.m. So it's pretty cool.
It's very nice.
It's time for German Word of the Week.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I've done this one before. Scheißfreundlich.
Shit friendly.
Exactly.
What does it mean?
Fake friendly.
Oh, okay.
Like someone who's either overly fake friendly or just friendly when you really know they're a dick and they're just faking it completely. Well, scheißfreundlich. People use it for like, store assistants or something when they're just overly sweet, when you just know it's just like this fake supplicant kind of friendliness.
Yep.
Germans, of course, have a problem with people being friendly anyway.
Yes.
So it figures that they would. One of the things they complain about is this person was too friendly, and
Scheißfreundlich.
I'm sure it's not authentic.
Huh.
Oh, scheißfreundlich. It implies the fakeness, that it's passive aggressive or something.
Interesting.
Which would be very German, actually.
Yes, it sure would. Yeah.
We don't have a word for passive aggressive.
Wait a second. Where's Siri? Hey, Siri. Where'd she go?
I don't know.
Now I got to look this up.
It's on the box.
Oh, okay.
I put it there.
Yeah, you did a good job. What's the German word for passive aggressive?
In German, passive-aggressive is passiv-aggressiv.
Lame.
That's not having your own word.
No, sure isn't. It's time for Ingo Corner, where you get to say whatever you want, and I won't tell you that it's boring.
I want this every day for like 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, we can do daily Ingo
Can
Corner.
I pick it after I've already blathered for 10 minutes?
Yes,
Or
you
do I
can
have to
get going
announce
and
it
be
ahead
like,
of
hey, it's
time?
Ingo Corner. And I'll be like, okay,
Sometimes I don't plan it.
that's okay.
Sometimes I'll be like, oh, can I use my 10 minutes of Info Corner?
Yeah, you can do that. Invoke Ingo Corner, like a free pass.
Ooh.
Like I'm invoking Ingo Corner.
I like it. I
All
like
right.
it. Next time something falls flat, and I'll say, that was my yeah, I meant to do that. That was my Ingo Corner.
Okay. Well, what would you like to talk about today?
All the Christmas cards we're getting.
Yeah.
It's very nice. The UPS box is full with goodness and cheer, and I'm very pleased about it. Everyone knows I like getting paper cards because I'm of that generation, and I think it's nice to see people investing the time in sending cards. I also welcome the whole Voodsmas circular card sending that's going on. I think it's
very
great.
Cool.
It's joyous chaos, and I think it's great. So thanks to everyone, and I think that's the meaning of the holidays, is to tell each other that you like each other.
Well, I did 2 different. Did you just make cricket sounds?
I think I sat on it. Don't know where it is.
Okay, we just have crickets now.
How
It's fine. It
appropriate.
sounds like Maryland. I did 2 book events, one in Chicago and one in DC this week. And I haven't shown you yet because I haven't even been home for 24 hours. But a bunch of people gave me cards, and they're addressed to both of us. And they're like, this is because we know Ingo likes paper cards.
He does.
So
I think they're awesome.
there's a stack in my suitcase waiting for you.
That's excellent.
Indeed.
Unpack that stuff.
I will. We'll do that now. Yeah, excellent.
Found it.
You got anything else?
Nope. That's it.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. I'm glad that we are able to podcast together again. And until next time, Slava Ukraini, and don't bite anyone unless they ask you to.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye.